What's good, everybody? Andy here. If you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment down below. And today, I got my dog Buster there. Say hi, Buster. Today, it's about taxes and how they affect us. So, imagine if you guys are in the workforce. Well, if you get a paycheck every month, you have to pay taxes. Well, if you have a large amount of money, you pay like 20 to 25% income tax, I think. If you have a low amount of money, you pay little to no taxes. If you get every month or every week you get a paycheck, they take out Social Security tax because that's for your Social Security benefits. Income tax, that's federal income tax, and also there's state tax, and also it's deducted because the pay's deducted, so that cut pays for your health insurance, such as dental and medical expenses along with it. Also for those of you on Medicaid, you're eligible for any it's for everybody, and for Medicare it's for 65 and over. And right here there's a sales tax. Yeah, yeah, right here in Cobb County. There's a sales tax of 6%, so it's like about 6 cents sales tax. And now let's talk about Social Security. Well, this is still on the tax. Like I said before, if you have a large amount of money, you pay that that high amount of taxes. And if you have little to no money, you pay you fall in the low tax bracket. Let's talk about Social Security for a second. Imagine if you're disabled and can no longer work. You have to find another source of income. That's where Social Security comes in. And well, like I said before, every single paycheck that you get, they take out a portion towards your Social Security when you retire at the age of 65, which is the required age for you to have Social Security. And while we're on the subject, another form of Social Security, well, it's close to it, it's called food stamps. Well, food stamps is if you make over $1,200, you're not eligible for food stamps. And if you make nothing to $800, you're eligible for food stamps. For those of you who are on food stamps, you get you gotta pay for food somehow. Yeah, that's what I was on because my mom couldn't work. Yeah, she had to feed me somehow, you know. Yeah, that's as far as the government comes in. Yeah, they provide Social Security and food stamps, which is a good thing in some cases. And now there's income tax. Now, let's see. I think I'm not sure, but I think I think banks, for example, have like no, I don't remember, but I wasn't sure what I was gonna say, but I think I think banks are required to like a I think that's very report like a deposit to the IRS. I think I'm not sure. Then let's talk about banks and credit unions. So banks, for example, you take out loans and make deposits, that sort of thing. Now, a credit union is similar to a bank, but it's only for members. Well, it's only for like a save. It's for like savings. Now, a bank consists of multiple accounts. There's like a savings account, a checking account, and a college fund, or like a trust fund almost. A savings account, however, where you you make a deposit, and over a year that adds interest, say about 1% to 3%. It's still interest though, but not not that not so much interest. Well, it's still interest though. Now, a checking account, however, you can write checks. Well, if you have enough money in the checking account, you're all right. But if you don't have enough, that's gonna bounce. That's a hot check, and that's well, in some cases that's illegal. You know. Yeah, this is why I don't have a checking account. I have a savings account. Now, a college fund, however, this is where you deposit a certain amount of money, and over time that adds interest. So you won't have to pay for all that college debt and student loans. However, and some colleges, however, let's say the cost of tuition is about $15,000, and over time you have to pay almost 180 $180 worth of tuition fees. Also, if you have good grades, however, you can apply for the Hope Grant. Well, in some states it may be different, but here in Georgia, the Hope Grant helps you pay for like a tiny percent of your college funds, you know? Yeah, that won't be too much. Also, if you have a college fund, start it when start it when when you're first born. Just set up an account, and over time until you're 18, it could be enough money. If you have like a disability or something like autism or something like that, you can apply for financial assistance. It's in some cases you can apply for that if I have a disability like myself or something like that. Now a certificate of deposit. Now you can deposit money to a bank, and you can ask for like a certificate of some kind. Over time that adds interest in, let's just say, 5 years or something like that. At the end of the 5 years, you can take that out and you can deposit more money and to get another certificate of deposit. It's almost like a savings bond, for example. Now, a bond is similar to a certificate of deposit, which is where you loan money to the bank, loan money to the government, like any government, like the state government, a local government, or the federal government. Now, that well, you can apply for like a 5 year bond, a 10 year bond, or whatever. I think the maximum time is like 30 years, and at the end of 30 years, you can take it out, and over time it adds interest. And now, yeah. Yeah, you can buy bonds from practically anywhere in this country, especially foreign countries. Well, even foreign countries have a they buy U.S. savings bonds. And let's see now what else? What else? Now there's diversification where people pull in their money in a certain stock and they just they just spread it out into other companies, which means that there's a lower chance of risk. Well, picture this: you have um a large a huge amount of eggs in one basket. If that amount of if one egg falls and drops, the rest can follow. So all you have to do is put your eggs in different baskets. See that the eggs is your money, and the basket are the companies that you want to invest in. So the the larger the amount of companies, the lower the risk, the chance of risk will be. Yeah, I learned all this stuff from Quizlet. Let's see now what else. Alright, we talked about Social Security. We, we talked about civic deposit bonds. Now, now let's talk about a 401k and an IRA. Now, for those of you who are retired, you have a 401k plan. Like I said in taxes, every time you get a paycheck, they always take out certain stuff. Like, for example, your 401k, which means that it can be taxed on. Now, like I said, every time you get a paycheck, that part of your paycheck goes to you. That part of your paycheck goes to a retirement plan. For example, a 401k. A 401k is like a retirement plan when you retire. Now, I think over time I think they put a certain amount in, and I think a company can match a 401k plan. Also, like I said, it's taxed on. Hold on, I'm gonna skip this ad. I gotta skip this ad. Hang on a sec, guys. Hang on a second. There we go. Now, an IRA. An IRA is the same thing, but it's tax deferred, which means they can't tax on it. Well, if you take out a certain amount of money from your IRA, it can be taxed on. It's just like sort of like a penalty almost. Yeah. I think certain companies have an IRA, but I don't know. I think I think I think I looked that up. I think now we now we talked about diversification, bank or credit union. Now let's talk about the different types of insurance. Health insurance is like Medicare and Medicaid. Well, I think I covered this, but uh, uh, well, I just want to refresh y'all's memory. Now, health insurance is where it helps you pay for your dental work and for doctor visits too. And like I said, every part of your paycheck goes to your health insurance and for like dental work, hospital visits, doctor's visits, you name it. Now for a let's see, there's life insurance where if you get injured, think I think it helps you pay for like a funeral costs, and everything else. See, hold on a second. Life insurance. Well, it sounds like a payment. If you name, well, if you're about to be deceased, I think, well, you can name your family your beneficiary, so they receive that life insurance. It's simple, right? Yeah, like I said, life insurance helps cover funeral costs. Now, if we don't, well, you don't have a life insurance, so yeah, cheaper was went to cremate, which was much cheaper. Now, let's talk about auto insurance. Now, it's easy enough that everybody has to have auto insurance in order to drive legally, because if you don't have auto insurance, you're in deep trouble. Auto insurance helps pay for like collisions. It's mostly for liability, where if you crash into somebody and they get hurt, you're liable for that person's hospital visits, for physical therapy, for doctor's visits, you name it. You're liable. Yeah, I think, well, if you have over $1 million, years ago, back then, if you had $1 million, you don't have to have auto insurance. But nowadays, you're mandated to have car insurance. Well, the cost of car insurance, if you're fully covered, it's like $111. Well, certain insurance companies are pretty expensive if you're fully covered for like liability, collisions, and etc. etc. Hope this helps, guys. Yeah, hope this helps. See, now a deductible. For example, if you pay your taxes, for example, if you have doctor bills that are paid off, it's deducted from your taxes. Also, especially supplies for your office, which are taxed double. It's like a part of the amount that's deducted from your taxes. It's the same thing. Let's see now a premium for those. Yeah, like I said about auto insurance, you pay premiums each month. I think it's each 3 months. I don't know. You guys can correct me on that. See now. But we talk about premium, deductible. Let's talk about collateral, for example, which is an asset of value put up against the loan in case of default. So we have like a default loan that's counted as collateral. Yeah, this is like anything. Yeah, we talked about risk. Well, like I said in diversification, for those of you are owning stock or owning part of a company, diversify. The more companies, the less the risk. Yeah, so it's less the risk. If there's less companies, the more risky it gets. And now a bank, for example, well, it's a safe place to put your money in. Also, in the vault there is safe deposit boxes. If you have something valuable that won't be stolen from your home, apply for like a safe deposit box, and you have a key, and you can access it anytime you want. You can check on it, take it out, and that's it. You're on your way. Yeah. Also, in the bank, it's all banks are insured for $250,000. In case the bank fails, well, if you have $500,000, if the bank fails, you get half of that 500,000, and you're left with $250,000. Also, you can put it in another bank. Now, I think in Econ today we learned about this money now pay later system. I'm not sure. Well, if you get a paycheck on Friday, and if you want the money now, you you can take that to like a money now pay later system where I think when you put it in well, let's say if you have $500, where they take, well, they give you the 450, and they keep 50 as like a fee. Also, you have to fill out paperwork every time you do it. It's like a 2 minute application. Now, let's say talk about trade. Let's talk about some of the trade blocks. NAFTA, for example, is the North America Free Trade Agreement signed by Bill Clinton back in 1994. It promoted trade between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. It was for like reducing trade barriers. It was like a trade block. Now the European Union, which is a large group of European countries to reduce trade barriers and promote free trade amongst the nations. Now, if for those of you who are in the European Union, you guys, well, it has a common currency, the euro, and you can move freely between every single European country with the common passport. Let's see now. There's NAFTA, the European Union, and ASEAN. Well, ASEAN. Well, it's like a Southeastern Asian nation trade bloc. It promotes free trade throughout throughout Southeast Asia. Well, it's like to liberalize trade barriers. Well, it's like also there's a free trade involved. Now, free trade is where trade that moves freely without trade barriers, for example. Hold on a sec. Alright, hold on a second. You talked about free trade. Well, it's like a region where a group of countries has agreed to reduce or eliminate trade barriers, and well, the free trade zones is like NAFTA almost. Promotes free trade between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. It was, yeah, back in the 1990s, it was a period of economic growth because of Reaganomics almost. Because 1994, Clinton signed NAFTA. Thanks a lot, Bill Clinton. Yet, it hurt domestic industry. Also, countries, for example, like the U.S., trade you want to put tariffs and trade barriers on just to save domestic jobs and for national security reasons. Imports the goods and services one nation buys. For example, China. We buy things from China. Yeah, because if we reduce the imports and export more, that's a trade surplus. Also, if we impose tariffs on imports, it saves domestic jobs and protects industries too, and protects from foreign competition such as China almost. NAFTA, I talked about that subsidy, a government payment that supports the business or market. Like, for example, for example, the Medicaid, Medicare are a subsidy from the government. So I think, yeah, a business like Medicaid, Medicare are like subs like like subsidies from the federal government. And let's see here. And if it could be a subsidy, yep. For example, if you grow corn, let's say if you got paid $10,000 just to not grow corn, that's an example of a subsidy. Trade deficit is a result of country importing more than exports. This country is an example of trade deficit. We import more from China instead of exporting to other countries. A tariff is a tax placed on imported goods. I talked about that. Protectionism, the use of trade barriers, and to protect a nation's industries from foreign competition. It's the same thing as a trade barrier. It's to protect national industry and domestic jobs. It's the same thing. Way back. This country imposed tariffs on cotton from Britain because it wanted to protect northern industry from here. Exchange rate and the value of foreign nation's currency in terms of the home nation's currency. For example, 1,000 Indian rupees for British pounds to rupees, it's like about 13 pounds for 1,000 rupees. For one thing, it's adjusted for inflation. And if we go on it's on Google. If we can check the currency converter, currency calculator, and I think this will be for this one. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. For $1 is 0.81 euro. For the Venezuelan Bolivier, 3,665 Venezuelan Bolivier for $1. So it's adjusted for inflation. So I hope this helped for any of your economics classes. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more vlogs and ring that bell icon. Huh? What's up? Alright, hang on a sec. I'll be right back, guys. doing an economics video. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, I'm doing an economics video. So thanks for watching, subscribe more vlogs, and turn that bell icon. Like, comment, down below. Follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, and Snapchat, and Steam. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Peace out, my dudes. Peace out. Bye, dudes.